This is part 2 of our Cebu City Tour. We just finished the Temple of Leia and now we're going to the next spot on our tour. Now we're on our way to our lunch spot. The tour guide told us that the tour includes 500 pesos per head worth of lunch. But if you want to go to a different place, then the tour guide will accommodate your request, but you have to pay for the difference. Tour guide was saying that Cebu City has recovered from the pandemic in terms of its effect on the economy. And my wife said that maybe the reason why is because there are lots of tourists who always come here. And so these tourists, help in revitalizing the economy. This is the bridge leading to Mactan Island and to the airport. I think we're nearing the city proper now, which is like their old town Cebu City. We now see the structure housing Magellan's Cross, and the tour guide told us that the Basilica de Sto is right next to it. On April 21, 1521, a Spanish explorer named Ferdinand Magellan arrived here in Cebu, bringing with him a cross that he planted on the very same spot where the pavilion is located. This stone structure is declared a national cultural treasure of the Philippines.
Basilica de Sto in Cebu City. This is Basilica Cebu City.
There's some kind of quadrangle here for special events.
Nato nga balas na ayuna, no? Ato hilingan ato asto para pagpapalik para pagpapalik sa kapilan pagpapatuan kasatan sa mga ato na usay anaan diha sa diligalon na ayuna, no? Naginaw sa tulong sa Ginoo.
We were supposed to stay inside the church a little bit longer so that I could take pictures and videos of the interior. But when I came across a sign that says that we cannot do so, we immediately went out because it would be disrespectful to those people who were there inside the church that are actually listening to the sermon.
Maliit lang pala siya.
Nakapasok po kayo sa simbahan?
Oo.
We are now approaching Fort San Pedro. The original structure was made in wood, and in the early 17th century, a stone fort was built. This is the oldest triangular bastion fort in the country. It was also considered the center of the first Spanish settlement in the Philippines. It also became a stronghold of Filipino revolutionaries during the revolution at the end of the 19th century. We did not go inside the fort anymore because at this point we were already tired. And also, we have already watched a few videos showing the interior of this fort. So it's like we're already familiar with it.
Downtown.
Ito yung
Pinakalumang city. Dito sa unang panahon, dito po kasi yung barter eh. Kita nyo.
Dito yung parang Chinatown nila.
Ito po yun.
Ito.
We're about to pass by the Heritage Monument. We actually parked in front of it on our way to the ancestral house. The Yap-Sandiego Ancestral House was built in 1675, located in the old Parian district of Cebu City. Parian means market, so there used to be a center for trade and commerce here in Cebu City that was established during the Spanish colonial era. These Chinese settlers and traders were required to live in these designated areas called Parians. This was owned by a Chinese Filipino family where a Chinese settler's daughter married a Filipino who was the head of the Parian district during that time. In 2008, this house was inherited by a descendant who turned it into a museum. The Heritage of Cebu Monument showcases Cebu's involvement in Philippine history, particularly the Battle of Mactan, a president's inauguration, and the canonization of a Filipino saint. The tour guide said that during those times, when you have a house like the Yap-Sandiego House, that means that you're part of the elite. When our tour guide said that he saw the plans of Cebu City that were made by the Americans, particularly an architect named William E. Parsons, back in 1912. Among other aspects of the plan was this concept of the capital being positioned at the end of a long avenue. Thus, at the tip of Osmeña Boulevard, formerly Jones Avenue, the Cebu provincial capital was built as Cebu's government center. This architect also helped design the city of Chicago. So Cebu City and Chicago have something in common. This is a famous religious site that was established in 1972 by the Chinese people of Cebu. The site gives you a beautiful view of the Cebu City skyline and the sea, including Mactan Island. It also serves as a retreat from the city and allows you to just relax and enjoy the environment that the site offers. The kind lady told us to always wear face masks while we are inside the premises, and she also reminded us not to take pictures or videos of any interior of any building within the temple grounds. We decided not to enter any building anymore and just appreciate what's outside. The surrounding areas, the temple grounds, the facades of the buildings, and the surrounding views all around. So this is part of the tour, and this is one of the most popular spots in Cebu City. So we had a chance to come here and take it all in, and it was worth it. This is actually the end of the 81 steps that you have to climb to get to the main temple. They represent the 81 chapters in the Taoist scripture. I learned that Taoism is some kind of Chinese philosophy or religion that emphasizes living in harmony with the Tao, or the source of everything. It also teaches, among others, frugality, simplicity, compassion, all those good virtues. The tour guide made a wise decision to drop us off at the top part of the temple property, so that after enjoying the site, exploring the temple grounds, and enjoying the views, all we had to do was go down the stairs instead of parking at the bottom part of the property and doing the reverse, which is climbing up, which is usually much harder. This is officially the end of the tour, and we are now on our way back to the hotel. Overall, the city tour is a must for everybody if it's your first time in Cebu City, or if it's your first time to go to any place for that matter. Before we came here, we have already decided to focus on the city and forego any trips to the beach, because it's our first time to visit the capital of this province and the oldest city in the country, I think. A beach will always be a beach, where you always see the three elements: sky, sea, and sand. Always remember those three S's. You always see them whenever you go to the beach. But when you go to the city, one city is particularly different from the other in terms of how they develop the place. So if it's your first time to go to, for example, here in the Philippines, if it's your first time to go to an island, go to the city first and see what's going on there. The beach will always be there, so you can plan for a beach trip later on. But for us, it's Cebu City, since it's our first time. And then maybe when we get the chance, we would go back to the island and enjoy the beaches.
Cover lahat no?
Yeah. Magkano lahat yun?
160. 130 pa sabi ko sa
It was a long day, but it was all good. As I mentioned before, a city tour is a good idea. Always include it in your travel budget. This is our last look of Cebu City from our hotel, and this is going to be our last day here, and tomorrow it's going to be a travel day again from Cebu to Manila.